Imagine walking into a dealership today, and the salesperson tells you this might be your last chance to buy a gasoline car before the world fully shifts to electric. Sounds dramatic, right? But in the United States, this isn't science fiction anymore. Electric vehicles are no longer rare, futuristic machines. They are becoming a mainstream choice. With states like California already planning bans on new gas car sales by 2035, and major automakers pouring billions into EV production, the question is no longer if you'll buy an electric car, but when. But here's the real dilemma. Is buying one right now a smart decision, or are you better off waiting? Let's break down the real pros and cons of owning an electric car so you can decide for yourself. First, the positives. Probably the biggest selling point for electric cars is cost savings on fuel. Imagine never having to pull into a gas station again. Instead, you plug your car in at night, wake up, and it's fully charged. At the average US electricity rate, charging costs can be less than half of what you'd spend on gasoline for the same mileage. For many households, that could mean saving over $1,000 every year. On top of that, maintenance is cheaper too. No oil changes, no transmission problems, and fewer moving parts mean fewer breakdowns. Electric motors are far simpler than internal combustion engines, which makes them incredibly reliable. Then there are the government incentives. Depending on where you live, you could qualify for thousands of dollars in federal tax credits plus state rebates. In some areas, EV owners even get perks like reduced tolls or access to carpool lanes. For a new buyer, those incentives can make a big difference and lower the upfront price gap between electric and gas cars. And let's not forget performance. Many people assume electric cars are slow and boring, but the opposite is true. Instant torque means that when you step on the pedal, the car launches forward without hesitation. Some of the fastest cars in the world right now are fully electric, and even affordable models deliver smooth, quiet acceleration that surprises new drivers. Finally, the environmental impact. While electricity isn't perfectly clean everywhere, driving an EV still reduces greenhouse gas emissions compared to burning gasoline, especially as more renewable energy is added to the grid. For buyers who care about climate change and air quality, this is a strong motivator. But before you get too excited, let's talk about the downsides, because they matter just as much. The first and most obvious con is upfront cost. Even with tax credits, many electric cars are still more expensive than their gas-powered counterparts. While prices are coming down slowly for budget-conscious families, that higher sticker price can be a major obstacle. Then there's the issue of charging. If you live in a house with a garage, installing a home charger is convenient. But for millions of Americans in apartments or without dedicated parking, charging can be a nightmare. Public charging networks are growing, but they're still far from as convenient or reliable as gas stations. Long trips often require careful planning around charger locations, and wait times at busy stations can be frustrating. Range anxiety is another real concern. While top EVs now offer over 300 miles per charge, many affordable models still provide less than 250 miles. That may sound fine for daily commuting, but it can feel limiting on road trips or in rural areas where charging stations are sparse. Unlike gas stations where filling up takes 5 minutes, charging an EV, even at a fast charger, can take 30 minutes or more. That's a big adjustment for drivers used to quick pit stops. Battery longevity also raises questions. While most automakers offer 8 to 10-year warranties on EV batteries, replacement outside of warranty can be incredibly expensive, sometimes costing more than $10,000. While batteries are proving more durable than some skeptics predicted, the fear of long-term degradation still makes some buyers nervous about resale value. Another factor is infrastructure. In the US, the charging network varies widely by region. If you live in California, you might find chargers everywhere, but in states like Montana or West Virginia, they can be few and far between. This uneven rollout means your experience with EV ownership depends heavily on where you live. And let's talk about lifestyle fit. Electric cars are ideal for people with predictable daily commutes, access to home charging, and maybe a second vehicle for longer trips. But for someone who frequently drives long distances, tows heavy loads, or lives in a rural area, a gas or hybrid vehicle might still make more sense right now. So, should you buy an electric car today? The truth is, it depends on your priorities. If you value saving money on fuel and maintenance, enjoy cutting-edge performance, and want to reduce your carbon footprint, then an EV might be the perfect choice. But if you're worried about high upfront costs, limited range, or charging convenience, waiting a few more years as the technology matures and prices fall could be the smarter move. The bottom line is that electric cars are not a futuristic gamble anymore. They're here. They're practical, and they're only getting better. But like any major purchase, they're not one-size-fits-all. The smartest thing you can do is weigh these pros and cons against your lifestyle and budget before making the jump. Because in the near future, whether we like it or not, electric cars are not just coming. They're going to dominate the road. The question is, are you ready to make the switch now, or will you wait until the transition is complete?